Hey everyone, welcome to the call. Woohoo! So glad we could chit chat tonight. So let's see. I think what we'll do, we'll just leave everyone unmuted and we'll chat that way. That way we can kind of have some back and forths because there's not that many of us on, so we should be able to not have a ton of feedback. So the purpose of this call is I think so that I can get to know you guys better. And so I'll just ask some questions. And I think in a business like this, it helps us to know ourselves better, like what we're motivated by, maybe like what our color personalities are, even our love languages, what we're motivated by. So those are a few things that I had jotted down. So I think, yeah, if we don't mind, if you guys don't mind sharing, you guys know the color personalities, the red, the blue, yellow, and green. Are you familiar with those?
I know a little bit.
Okay.
So I'm primarily yellow.
Okay. So red is someone that's really driven, organized, leader. A yellow is a helper. A green is someone that's all about data, facts, very slow to make decisions. And then blue people are all about the party, the travel, the fun, people. So I think it helps to know what color you are, and it helps to know what color your teammates are. And sometimes you think you know what someone is, but sometimes that's different than what they think they are, which is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So Caitlin, do you have any idea of what you are?
What are the colors again? I'm sorry.
You're totally facts.
I'm what?
Green?
Facts.
Oh, yes, that's true. Very research-oriented, driven. Give it all to me.
Okay.
That's true. Okay, Jen can't talk, so she's texting with me, and she said she's green.
Okay.
You can unmute yourself because you have to talk.
Interesting. And then Michael, do you know what you are?
What are you?
We talked about this the other night. I think it was a little green and a little red.
Okay. Cool. Love language wise, are you familiar with that book?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you know what your primary love language is?
Caitlin?
It was physical touch and quality time.
Okay.
I don't know what mine is.
All
is
five?
Communication one of them? Mine's communication.
I have a friend and she says women are all five of them.
Yeah, we probably
Pretty
are.
much, yeah.
Mine, a big thing for me is talking, communicating. So quality time.
Okay. Words of affirmation too?
No, not so much that as it just, I need to communicate. I need to talk.
Okay.
A lot of feedback because we're so close.
Maybe I'll try a different spot. See, that's better.
You can be on here with me, you know.
Oh, you know? All right.
What does Jen say she is?
She tried talking again, but I'm waiting to. She said she's just like me. Same thing.
Okay. And then what are you guys motivated by in business or I guess in anything?
Well, I like to set goals for myself and knock them out. And I'm driven that way. And so when it was the time to get that planner, I mean, I am getting that planner. I don't care what it takes. I'm getting that planner. And we were like right down to the wire. And there was a gal that was going to sign on. She goes, well, I don't really have the time right now, so I'm going to do it tomorrow. I'm like, you can't. And she goes, well, why? And I said, I set a personal goal for myself, and you know, we're right down to the wire. And she's like, oh, I don't want to make you not make your goal. So yeah, I'll make the time.
That was sweet.
It was super sweet. And so she reminds me of that. So that's my thing. I'm very driven that way. So like right now I'm 4 from gold. And so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh my word.
I guess I'm very passion driven. If I don't have a passion for it, it's really hard for me to find anything, do anything.
Okay.
I really got to have it like deep in me to really want to go after it. Otherwise, it's really, really hard for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Michael, do you go by Michael or Mike?
Michael.
Michael, okay.
Okay.
So what are you motivated or driven by?
I need a purpose, some kind of goal.
Okay. So in a business like Plexus, goals are huge. Like overarching goal and then like breaking it down. We talk about that all the time on the team page, but just goals are really important, and like setting monthly goals and then breaking those down into action steps even, I think is important. So I mean, I have some people that tell me, oh, I want to get to silver. I want to get to silver. And then, but they're not, like, they don't do anything to make it happen. So, making the action plan to go along with it. What about Jennifer? Did she say what she's motivated by?
No, she said she's motivated by if it's good for her family and something that is useful.
Okay. So what would be helpful? Do you guys want to talk about like your why and your goals? We kind of talked about pace on that chat thread already, or do you want to go into like IPA type stuff and what you're doing there? What would be most helpful?
I think it's most helpful for us to, income producing activity, how to set the goals, because I feel like I'm kind of like, how do I actually go about this? I feel like I'm not knowing how to do it. I mean, I've watched several videos, I've listened to several teachings and all that, and I still feel like I'm missing something.
In light of what way? Like
how to stay focused or try something different. I don't know. I feel like I'm just spinning wheels, not going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. I felt the same way when I started. I was there like, make goals. And I'm like, well, I don't know. Maybe in a year I could be gold. I mean, I had no idea. Like, you don't really know, like, in a business like this, I mean, you can't foresee like what your team's going to look like, who's going to be on it, if it's going to be, I mean, mostly, yes, it's wholesalers, but like, at what point do your runners come?
I'm on a Zoom with Caitlin. And
hey, now we hear you, Jen.
Now you can hear me.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yay.
I must have hit some button right.
So we're talking about goals, how to set goals.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that was very obscure to me. And so I was kind of just pulling out of thin air, like, okay, I'll plan for gold next February. And then I hit it in June. Like, I went silver in April, and then I went gold in June. So I had 2 months. But some people take the year to go gold. It just depends on a lot of different factors. It depends on your work ethic. It depends on your network somewhat. It depends on your consistency and your influence. And there's some people that really struggle to find 3 people. And that comes down to personal influence. And that's prior to Plexus. I mean, your influence, your network thing, and your involvement with people, that affects a business like Plexus once you start it. I know Celeste Wynn said, people said, how did you go so fast and all this? And she's like, I spent 37 years of my life prior to Plexus preparing. So I thought that was really interesting because it is true. I mean, let me get my dog really quick. Hi, puppy. So I think the main thing is the silver goal each month is work for 3. And I was asking Jessica Heffley, I'm like, okay, I have a few girls that are struggling so hard to get to silver. And to me, they seem like they're doing everything that I'm telling them to do. And she said, okay, if that's the case, it boils down to personal influence. You need to do personal growth. She said, without personal growth, you'll come across as salesy and pushy, the 2 main things you don't want to do.
Right.
So I thought that was insightful. And I'm tucking that in my memory bank and encouraging. I mean, I want to be careful not to overwhelm, because I know when you first start Plexus, you're like, in college, kind of like you're learning the Plexus, you're listening to Plexus you're making your Franks list, you're, learning to navigate Facebook and posting. I mean, some of us weren't active on Facebook prior to Plexus. And so like having in our brain to like post a couple times a day and share, like be more open and share our life. That's a lot. What's that?
I said my problem is posting too much.
So, I mean, I realize that we have all that, but if people can even a little bit invest in personal growth, it'll help them in the long run, because if your goal is to grow with Plexus, whatever rank you want to get to, you're going to be leading people. You're going to be leading a team. You're having to interact with people. And so that Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People, I just finished that. It was really good. So I would say that would be number 1 personal growth book to read.
What was the name of the book?
Right now.
Is Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And it's fun. I really enjoyed reading it because you get to practice on your people. Like I was practicing on my kids and my husband when I'm out networking with people. Just the mindset of like pouring into other people, investing in asking questions and learning, being engaging and interesting. And one thing that I gleaned from that book was go for yes. And I thought that was really interesting because I know there's that book, Go for No, meaning, in a business like this, you get told no and it's okay, or they're not rejecting you, that kind of thing. But to go for yes, because the more yeses we get, the more yeses we'll continue to get. So it's when I'm chatting with people, a lot of times it's, hey, I would love to send you a quick video. Would that be okay with you? And always asking permission. I've really started doing that more recently, is asking permission before I offer someone a coaching tip, or even as we're chatting back and forth about products or the business or something like that.
So what do you do when, we're supposed to add people to our friends list in that? And I went from like 300 and whatever to almost 1,000 now.
Yay.
But there's 600 people. I don't know who they are. How do you talk to people like, hi, I have no idea who you are. Would you like to know about Plexus?
Well, I kind of did that same thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you sometimes know kind of who they are? A little bit about them?
Some I do, but the majority, I have no idea. I mean, from different groups that I was on, I just thought, I'm going to just start sending some friend requests. And they were just like all saying, sure. And they all stayed with me. So,
When they accepted your friend request, did you get a little notification in your messenger?
Yes. And I said, thank you for accepting my friend request. I'm looking forward to getting to know you better.
Okay. And so it kind of depends, like in the reach outs. I consider any message a touch point and a reach out. It doesn't have to be specifically Plexus. I know Carissa Casey does a lot of training about making your cold market warm. So getting to know people, and that's kind of a longer route. But
you got to know all those people.
Yeah. So I think it just depends. I try to go by what's organic, what feels organic to me. And if I've been friends with them a long time, or sometimes if I don't, like if I know where I met them, like in a group, sometimes they're like, oh yeah, we met in that large family group or whatever. And then I'll just kind of start chit-chatting with them a little bit. But you kind of have to profile people a little bit sometimes with that, like looking for people that look influenceable, attractive on Facebook, like with what they post, but they're not negative, or they just post like a bunch of recipe posts or something. Like those shared posts or whatever.
Right. What do you think, Jen? What's your thoughts?
Well, I did it was God is My Victory boutique, and so I had a lot of rodeo people and stuff on my page. I ended up with 700-800 friends on my Facebook, and it got really, really overwhelming. So I did two. I had my personal family one, which I still have. I turned off for a while and just turned it back on, and then I had my regular one. And then later on, when I was completely done with it, I was able to delete it and still had my personal family one. And so it didn't matter who got invited to the business one. It was no big deal whether or not I knew them or not. You know, you could get to know them or you can just have them sit there. That was fine. And it didn't overwhelm you because a lot of time you go onto Facebook and you want to talk to your family. You want to see pictures of your nieces and nephews and your sisters and stuff. You don't want to be bombarded with, you know, millions and millions of other things and get involved in too many people, but you still want them there as contacts. And so sometimes having Facebook pages helps a lot.
Mm-hmm. Did I answer your question about goals though very well? Back to goals.
Well, how do you set them? I mean, yeah, I have the end goal in mind, but you know, I read about, you know, or I've listened to different teachings about, okay, you have your end goal and then start going backwards. But I guess I'm just not completely getting that.
How do you break it down into action steps? Like, okay, I set my goal for, I want to get 3 this month. And I reach out and everything, and people are like, you know, fence riders forever. How do you get them to join and all that? How do you break it down to get them to do those things?
Well, no, just because you make a goal doesn't mean you'll hit it.
Exactly.
Right, you know? So, I mean, I think you have to look at when you're reaching out to people or chatting with them, you're planting seeds. And so over the long term is where you're going to see harvest. Because there's a girl that finally joined me. What was it, Saturday? I finally saw her little thing come through. Hey, you have a new ambassador. I'm like, who is this? I'm like, oh my word, she finally joined. She was one of my fence sitters for the planner. And we couldn't make it happen. She's like, oh, I'm going to have to wait a week. And then it was then it was December, all December, follow up, January, follow up. Finally, the end of February, here we go. And I have people after a year or more. My friend, a good friend of mine, talked to her drink chain girl last spring. Wasn't good timing. And she just joined, my friend. And she's a runner. She's red. And she's already tagging people and stuff. And it's just good timing for her. So don't write people off like just because they are sitting on the fence or whatever. I mean, I have a huge, where's my list?
Oh, you're good with lists and all that stuff. I need more lists.
Yeah. Well, how do you get people, let's say, to just go wholesale? Because every single person that contacts me is always wanting to do preferred. I can hardly get anybody to go as a wholesale.
That's okay.
It's just hard breaking up though.
Well, you kind of make more. Well, I shouldn't say you make more, but you make a nice commission off of preferred customers. So
yes, and I lost all 3 of my preferred, or 5.
Yeah. One of my girls, Shelby, when she started, no one wanted to be ambassadors. So she signed up all preferred customers her first month. And then they ended up upgrading. So you can sign up preferreds if that's what they prefer. And then say, okay, I know after I'm going to follow up with you. We'll let it auto ship once and I'll follow up with you and write their name on your planner before their third auto ship, or even after their, like in between their second and third auto ship, and say, okay, you're loving your products, you know, let's upgrade you. And then you can detail why. Like, and I still have some that don't want to upgrade. They don't want to work. They don't want to have a website. They don't want any of that. So that's fine.
I have some that like just buy the Slim, or, you know, just buy a couple other products and stuff. So they're really not interested in upgrading at all.
And those people shouldn't upgrade. They should be perfect customers.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I have then, is really good customers.
Yes.
That's good though. That's important.
Yeah. And just be really good about caring for them, like following up and checking in with them, because happy customers might get into happy wholesalers, or they might connect you with someone, because you can even say, hey, I take referrals too. If you have other people that you know would benefit from our probiotic, because it is the best one out on the market, I would be happy to. Oh my goodness, I don't have a kid here, I have a puppy.
Hey Christina, can you hear us? I see Christina up there, but I don't see her picture.
I don't see her on here at all.
I see her.
Scroll over. I wonder if she can hear us.
Hopefully. I like Zooms because you guys can't be in my living room right now and chat about Plexus, but we can be on here and like chit chat back and forth. And I had so much in my brain when I was starting, like questions and okay, well, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? So it's nice to be able to, kind of just get the affirmation or the confirmation that, yeah, it's okay to have, preferred customers and, versus, yeah, we want ambassadors, but sometimes you can't make it happen. Sometimes people want to be the preferred.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Because I have 3 fence sitters and they all want to be preferred.
I would sign them up as preferred then.
Send them to your mother.
And I'm pretty bold with people. Like once they express interest and we've chit chatted back and forth a little bit, I'll just say I'll ask them kind of questions like their commitment level. But I definitely do keep that 60-day thing. Hone in on that, because we don't want people just trying it for a month. We want retention at least 60 days for a perfect customer. And if I have people commit, if they're going to do the ambassador option, I want them committing for 4 to 6 months. And so I like to ask them for that commitment.
Tell Megan your scenario, Michael. He's got a guy at work.
Yeah.
Guys, since I'm one, I found out that guys are really, really hard. It's a hard market.
Oh, very.
Everyone is very skeptical, hugely. Running in a lot of roadblocks since I started this. And I'm dealing with a guy here. He's like, he told me twice, I want to sign on as an ambassador. And then back today, he's like, I'm not going to do it. He's pulled back, and then he wanted to do retail, and then he decided on not doing that. So it's like there's so many different reasons why they're not doing this. It can be financial. They don't want to do the credit card, their social security number.
Oh,
that throws them for a loop.
Yeah.
It's very, very frustrating.
Justin could relate, because he said his network was a very tough sell, but once they saw him committed and consistent and successful, people come around. So just keeping consistent. And I really liked James Charles Phillips. Are you friends with him on Facebook, or have you watched any of his videos?
Oh no.
You might
that you just had at your house?
Yeah, you might follow him or friend him, because I really liked his approach. He's like, I just liked how he talked about it, because he's like, you're saying skeptical people or whatever. He's like, you know what? Not a big deal. He's like, he said, well, he'll touch on it with people and then be like, okay, you want to go hunting? So it's just kind of like you kind of present, and then you wait for open doors, basically. It's kind of what he was saying, and I liked that approach, because then you don't turn into some, the stereotypical network marketer.
Right, like puking plexus, as they say.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I don't want to do is have them run away from me at work, so I'm just kind of living.
Like, oh no, here he comes.
Yeah.
So I think keeping the friendship part of relationships, especially in person, when you're chatting with people or you're in contact with people. But once they see, Justin just tells people like, hey, he's like, I am regular now. I sleep great, and I don't have arthritis anymore. He's like, those are my results, and it's worth it. So you should try it. And I just tell people like, hey, you're not out anything to give it 60 days. Because if you are, for whatever reason, it doesn't meet your expectation, you can get your money back. So that's what I tell people. And I liked Carissa Casey's little verbiage there. If it doesn't meet your expectations, because we know the products work, but people typically want a quick fix. So I liked that verbiage.
Right. And I say, because I've heard people say, well, if you don't like it, you get your money back.
Yeah.
You're already putting that negative connotation on it. You're not going to like it eventually. So I just said, you had 60 days to fall in love with it.
Yeah, I like that.
But I didn't say that in the beginning, but I'm learning.
Yeah, it's all a learning curve, and I feel like I'm still trying things. Like I'm trying this or that, like just lots of different creative things, and seeing what works. If something doesn't work, then I'll back out of that little, thing, and we'll try something else. So.
So still, how do you break it down then into like action steps?
Okay.
What do you do for that?
So my baseline is the 5-3-1 method, which is reach out to 5, follow up with 3, and train 1 on a daily basis. So that's 5 days a week. So sometimes when I have a crazy day, I at least bare minimum try to get that done. And always, I think it's really important to always keep people in your funnel, keep meeting people. Like when you're out and about, try to look for people to meet, or join new groups, or do a new hobby, or, I'm trying to think. I don't know. I feel like every time I'm out and about, I try to meet new people. And
That's
on
hard.
Facebook. What's that?
That's really hard for me because whenever it comes Facebook's easy, it's just, that way when it comes to actually meeting somebody, then I get really nervous and I, start thinking like, oh, what are they going to think? And, all that stuff. It's really hard for me to just like go up to somebody and just start a conversation. Even like in the checkout line, it's harder for me to just start those conversations.
That's my job. I talk to everybody, whether they want me to talk to them or not.
It's so funny. So you're a natural networker. You're like my mom.
I just love people. So, I talk to anybody. I just go right up in line and it's like, hey, how are you? How's your day going? Can I pray for you? Do you need any help with anything?
Yeah, but everybody just tells you their story in the checkout line anyway. Naturally tell everything to you. So it's easy. They just say, hi, can I tell you this? I'm like, hi, and I gotta start it, and it's hard.
Well, but I'm somewhat of an introvert, and so that was really hard for me. But I started making myself do it because every time I did it, I'm getting better at it. And read that book by Dale Carnegie, and I think it will really change your outlook on people and investing in people. Like it, I don't know, just something clicked with me, and I see it naturally in some people, like Denise. Obviously, and maybe it's just because you're more mature and you've lived life longer and you've learned how to, invest in people, or maybe that's just a gifting of yours. But I think anyone can learn the people skills. Other that Justin is reading. What's that?
I said some people it just takes a little more effort.
It takes a lot of effort.
Yeah, but you can do it, and you can get better at those things, and that's why this business is so good, because it encourages us to get out of our comfort zones. And you never know, because that person that you chat with may be really needing something that you have, which is, it could be something spiritually or physically. We have answers for people. That's how I view it.
Yeah.
We have hope to offer people.
Right. That's what you got to focus on, is not how hard it is for you, but hey, I know something that could possibly be extremely beneficial for this person. So that gets you out of your comfort zone because you're thinking of the other person instead of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't always just go up to someone and say, hey, have you heard about Plexus?
No, we don't do that either.
Sometimes I do. Oh, there's Christina.
Here you are.
Hey.
You have anything to add, Christina? We got 5 minutes left.
Missed most of it. I didn't wait, not home yet, so I didn't have help, and so I didn't get going.
Hi, baby. Hi, Madeline.
Cute.
I kind of missed what was happening. Sorry.
Okay, so we're talking about like setting goals and what color are you? You know, you've read about the red, the green, the yellow, the blue. Leader. What are they, Megan?
So a leader person that's very driven, somewhat motivated by money. Blues, which are all about the party, the fun. Yellows are all about serving other people and helping people. And then green.
That's Christina. Yellow.
I'm a yellow.
Okay. Yay! So all the colors are good. There's not a bad color. It's just kind of how you, I don't know, how you're made a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, she's definitely yellow.
We were talking a little bit about action steps too. So networking. Have you guys ever read The Greatest Networker book?
I haven't, no.
It's a little skinny book. Justin's reading it. He said it's excellent. He said that's a one that he'll highly recommend to people and that to go back and reread. It's in the story form. He said it's very profound. It's excellent.
Oh, and who's that by?
Yeah.
I'm not sure who it's by. I think he brought it with him tonight, but The Greatest Networker. It's a red book.
Well, I've got like 7 books because everybody's like, oh, this is the best one. You've got to get this. So it's like, I'm on Amazon getting all these books and, you know, you start them and then you've got little tags in all these books. So I need to just focus on one, finish it, and go to the next.
Yeah.
Who has time to read? Unless I stay up till midnight with all these children.
Audible.com.
Audiobooks are good.
That's true.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I could do that during nap time while I'm doing everything else. Put it in and have it go.
IPA. We only have 2 minutes left, but IPA type stuff. We were talking about the 531. You guys have kind of a DMO that you work off of every day?
Daily mode of operation, girls. Do you know what that is?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Kind of. I always seem like I don't
be better.
I don't know. I don't know when it comes to like doing that. I don't know. It's like hard to figure out how to work it into my days sometimes. I feel like it's just a mess. Not sure like what to do to like, I don't know, like power hours, for instance. You know, okay, they say do a power hour. What do you like really do in the whole thing?
So a power hour would be reaching out to people, Facebook posting, following up. That's what I would say a power hour would be. Even if you do a power 30 minutes.
Okay.
And just break it down into 30 minutes. And I would say try to do it when you're not distracted with kids. So like your kids are sleeping or something.
Nap times.
Yeah, or get up a little bit earlier or something like that. And just, that's what I try to do is just work on my business first. And then later on go through and, you know, if I need to respond to people's messages or follow up, whatever.
Okay.
Facebook
focus time.
So important. Facebook, I think Facebook posting is just needs to be that continual feed. I feel like some people that aren't growing very quickly aren't posting enough.
That's my fault.
And kind of, we have less than 1 minute. I feel like we have a lot more to chat about, but maybe what we can do is just continue in our chat thread if we want to chat a little bit more.
Okay. Thank you for coming on, everybody, and thank you for doing this for us, Megan. I appreciate it.
Yes. Okay. We'll move it to the chat thread.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.